Howdy folks, and welcome back to Joystick and Mouse, video game news and reviews for all you filthy casuals out there. I'm Don, I go by Diddy in the gaming community. With me this evening as always is Jade Raymond.
What's going on, people?
And today on the program, this is the week of, oh really? That happened this week? I had noticed. The world of video games has taken a backseat to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But there was some news this past week. A little bit as a very meh performance again by Sony. I guess they were saving that thunder for later in the week. So, what's going on in your world, Jade? I'm trying to grow some grass over here, and it is not.
Trying to grow some grass.
Oh my god! So I live in a townhouse. I've got a 9x10 plot of grass in the front. That's all I own. You think I can get grass to grow there? Oh, hell no.
Have you tried aerating?
We have aerated. We have torn it all up and mixed topsoil in with the front. We have put
Have you tried putting sod down?
Yeah, we haven't tried sod, but we did do zoysia plugs this week.
Ooh.
Zoysia grass. So
what is that?
So zoysia grass is this real thick tubular style of grass. They use it in putting greens.
Okay.
So it's real dense. It's supposed to be really heat tolerant. Supposedly it's really easy to grow. We will see. It's just 13 years in this townhouse and we still have yet to get grass to grow.
Really?
Was
there grass when you all moved in?
Yes. Didn't look any better. It was all weeds. And there used to be like a dead tree in the front yard too.
I will say this. For a long time we had a terrible yard. And it was really bad in comparison to our neighbors across the street. And maybe 4 years ago, I hired True Green to come out and see what they could do about the grass situation. And I don't know if we'll keep them much longer because it's kind of plateaued. But by and large, they did a pretty good job of getting grass to grow and making it look good. Now, we cut down 2 trees last year, kind of right before that big storm that we had with the wind blowing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the combination of the trees getting cut down and them blowing the lawn to get the sawdust up and the leaves.
Yeah.
Uprooted a lot of grass.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, because, I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't the strongest grass to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I may need them for another year to come and try. I may just have to go rent an aerator, aerate the yard myself, and plant some grass. Because we got some spots that aren't looking great around where the trees were. But
yeah, the nice thing about aerating is if you do that and then put the grass seed down, the seed gets down into
the ground, right? Yeah,
on top. We got this plug thing. It looks like a pogo stick, but it's got a cutter on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
You just step on it and cut like a 2-inch round hole in the yard. And then you buy the plugs and they're in a, like a little square thing and you just shove them in the hole and they're supposed to go to town.
And this is the Zoya grass?
The zoysia grass, yeah.
It's
supposed to work. I mean, you could do it with any type of grass, but this is supposed to be really fault tolerant. And here, well, where we live, it's nothing but red clay. It's just it's hard to get something to grow unless you put new topsoil in.
Oh yeah, I see a picture of a man planting zoysia plugs.
Yep.
Standing on this big tubular thing.
That was it, man. It actually was pretty easy. It wasn't hard. not at all. Right. So, anything happening in your neck of the woods other than trying to work yourself to death?
No, I still haven't played my uh my Oculus. Um, I have I have bought a ton of comic books,
Oh yeah.
and
Even without going to Comic Con.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's other than work and the weekly Thursday night movie.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I haven't been to a theater. I heard you went and did Batman. That
Yeah,
good?
Batman was really good. It was long, but it didn't feel as long as it was. I thought Robert Pattinson was a good Batman and a meh Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of the reasons I really liked Affleck as Batman, I thought he did a very good job as both Bruce Wayne and as Batman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, him and the other one. Actually, I really like the other one because he played Bruce Wayne so well. Um, the one everybody hates.
Keaton
Yes,
or
Michael Keaton.
Clooney? No, I
Keaton.
think people pretty
See,
much like Keaton.
I thought Keaton did an excellent job as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
the Batman part I think is the part that's easy because you're going to put him in a suit.
yeah,
And even
hey,
George Clooney and Val Kilmer looked fine as Batman.
yeah, and
Um,
they do the fight scenes with
just
just
yeah,
their face.
can you pull off being Bruce Wayne without the suit? That's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't think Pattinson did a great job as Bruce Wayne, but still a very enjoyable movie, I thought.
cool, cool. Yeah, I put him. Maybe we'll try and do it a Sunday morning or something when there's nobody there.
Yeah, I think that movie is hitting HBO Max soon. Like I think it's only 45 days or something like that in the movie theater.
Oh, well, it's been, yeah. How long has it been out? It hasn't. Has it been out? Has it been out a month?
It's been out at least 3 weeks, I think. Because
Wow,
Will and I didn't see it opening weekend, so
wow. God, time just man. What happened to the time during this? It's like it's been 2 years. Do you guys realize that it's been 2 years since this all started? It was like we were talking about that the other day. It's like where did that go? Holy hell!
yeah, I don't know. Now they want everybody to come back to the office.
I, well, my office is in San Diego, so that doesn't happen.
Oh well, I'm lucky.
Yeah,
You're lucky.
yeah. Mrs. Diddy's office has been talking about that, but we'll see if it happens. So,
Yeah.
all righty, let's get into it here. Jim, I think you got you. Why don't you take the first one there?
Amazon Luna, the retail behemoth's cloud gaming service, which launched in early access in October of 2020, I didn't think it had been that long, is now available everywhere in the mainland United States. Luna will offer an a la carte subscription to 5 channels, and Amazon Prime members get access to a monthly rotation of games included with that subscription. I have feelings about this.
Did did do we even?
Talk about the controller.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I remember looking at the controller online and being like, "Oh, that looks very much like a Nintendo Pro controller."
it does look like a Nintendo Pro controller.
Um, and listen, there's no better controller to model yourself off of. I don't I don't think like Luna's still not is not drawing me in.
No, I mean, so they have the same problem everybody else has. Is games, right? One of these services has gotta say, do you know what? Screw it, we're going games. We're just gonna we'll have the games. You pay us, $15 a month, and it'll include Ubisoft Plus, or it'll include Epic, whatever the hell their thing is called. You know, until somebody does that, until somebody starts saying you can play these AAA games when they come out on our service. It's not going to take off. This is a great controller. This actually is better than the Google controller. It's a little bit
That didn't
small.
take a whole lot, did he?
That's true. It's a little bit smaller, but it's a good solid feel. Um, the joysticks have a nice resistance to them. I've never had any problems with it. I tried it for about a month. When we had I think when I signed up, I got the pro version for 3 months or something. It's a great little controller. The service worked well. I didn't have any problems with the service. It just there isn't any games. I think the only
Yeah.
thing I could play was Control, and
Did didn't they put out like an Amazon exclusive game? I feel like I remember Alex playing um some sort of like medieval or
oh god, I don't remember it. I mean, uh, they got a retro channel, like I think it's got Street Fighter, and I think you can play Jackbox games and stuff like that on it. What do I got? Let's see. So it debuts. It's got Devil May Cry 5, Observer, System Redux, Fogs, Flashback, Immortals Phoenix. So, but if you get Ubisoft, you get Immortals Phoenix Rising and games like that. But they 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 want you to pay $10 a month for nothing, just for the service.
yeah.
Now, if you didn't have a PC, is it cheaper than buying a PC? Yeah, but you'd have to have the internet infrastructure to use it anyways. And if you most of the people that have that level of internet have a reasonable gaming PC anyways. So I don't know where the online services fit, the game streaming services fit anymore, if they're not going to offer games. And we just haven't seen
What
anybody do it yet.
what was the big open world game that Amazon developed?
New World.
Okay, and New World is not attached to Luna in any kind of way?
I don't I don't know if you can play New World on there or not. That's a good question.
I mean, it sounds like a big miss if you can't play New World on Luna.
I have not seen anything that says you can play New World on Luna. That is a
No. And it is I looked it up really quick. It is positioned as a PC game.
yeah. Yes, The Verge could come to its cloud gaming service. But I don't know how they do it. You've got well, okay, so you've got 4 keybinds, but you've got 8 keys right off the bat that you have to use in combat. I mean, I don't know how you do that.
Let me just say, I think somebody made a huge miscalculation. If you're going to offer a cloud service to then have a flagship game that you own that is not suited to play
Are we surprised that
on
one
your
half
on your
of
device.
Amazon is not talking to the other half of
Yeah, listen, I
Amazon?
don't know. I also feel like they should be giving more to people that are Prime members.
Yes, Adi. It is. The Luna controller only works with the Luna service. Yep.
Which is crazy because can't you use like an Xbox controller to attach to, or maybe no. I know
Yeah.
you could do that on the Google service, maybe not on the
On the Google service, you can. I don't think you can attach anything to the Luna service except for this, because this talks over Wi-Fi.
maybe. And that's probably why they have that controller app for your phone. So you can use that if you don't have their controller.
Right. Yep. Yeah, don't know about that one. So, so on to the next. Tim, I think you have the next one too. 'Cause it's
Microsoft has announced that it will suspend sales of all its products and services in Russia following the invasion of Ukraine. This seems like a no brainer, and Microsoft wasn't the only one. But how do we feel about the real world invading our sanctuary of video games? Well, I mean, I don't really feel bad about it.
I,
I mean, I guess like do I feel bad for people in Russia who can no longer play Xbox Online because their country is invading another country? I mean, listen, I recognize that there are a lot of people over there that don't agree with what their country's leadership is doing, but it's, it's kind of the price you pay, you know?
yeah, yeah. This was a tough one, and sometimes we talk about how the real world gets in the way of our entertainment stuff, but
The
this
president of Ukraine was talking about how they wanted Netflix to turn off Netflix in Russia. Like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't begrudge any company from doing that. I think at this point one of the only ways that this is going to de-escalate is maybe that there can be so much internal pressure, such a public outcry against that they change their strategy. I don't know that I really have a lot of
I don't know if I have a lot of faith in that because
faith that that happens. Yeah,
I don't
but
think their
I
leader
mean,
really cares what anybody
no,
thinks, and
no. But
he's
enough rich people lose enough money, enough middle class people inconvenienced. It can start to wear
yeah. I mean, I guess.
on.
No, go ahead, finish that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it can start to wear on the powers that be.
Yeah, I think that's
Whether that wearing is enough, I don't know.
yeah. I think that's the real thing is can can it, and I think that's why the U.S. has taken the tack that it has with the sanctions is that can you put enough economic pressure on the rest of the country to have their leader capitulate because enough people that are close to him are saying, "Hey, we got to stop this."
Yeah.
Um, like when I think it's the richest guy in the country loses his soccer team, his football team,
Yeah.
because of your policies, that doesn't make you any friends.
Nope. No. But we'll see. But it'll be interesting to see how long Microsoft keeps the lights off over there for Xbox gaming.
Yeah, and
Has
Microsoft.
Sony done the same thing, or do we know? So
I'm pretty sure Sony has done the same thing. So have here's an interesting one. I'm not sure that I've heard about Blizzard turning off World of Warcraft in Russia. I don't think I
yeah,
heard that at all. Hmm. That's one I'll have to go check on. I'll report back uh, on that. I haven't heard. I know Ubisoft did. Yeah. So if you look through this, Ubisoft has, but they're French anyway, so they're definitely going to be anti Russia at most.
they did. Well, I did find an article that said that they have suspended new sales.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I
but
do know that
nothing to say
Epic Games
whether or
did.
not they can still play what they own. So,
Oh well, actually, so yeah, Epic did the same thing. They stopped all new sales, so you can't
yep.
buy anything in the store for Fortnite, but you can still play it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We shall see how that will all play out. Just that's
Yeah.
it's just tragic in a whole bunch of ways, unfortunately. So, in the never-ending saga of the way things go, I feel like we almost feel like we talk about this every week. There's always something new, but the news doesn't get any better for Activision Blizzard or Microsoft, um, as the parents of a female employee that committed suicide after being harassed filed a lawsuit against the company this week. Details of the suit were not disclosed, like how much or anything like that. But I'm going to get this right. Janet and Paul Moynihan, parents of Carrie Moynihan, alleged that the sexual harassment was a significant factor in her death. So I definitely wanted to bring this up because this is on a whole different level than everything else that has happened at Activision Blizzard. I'm not saying that any of that stuff was right or is less impactful, but this is a wrongful death suit. People go to jail for this shit. People, it's hard to prove the other ones. This one's not quite so hard to prove. If there are reports that she confided in other people about the way this made her feel, and they didn't do anything about it, it's a pretty strong case. So this is one definitely to keep an eye on, because this is a little bit bigger than them bringing harassment suits against the company. So this is one of those things that people go to jail for.
This is you know what I didn't notice is how long ago this happened. So I was actually Googling the I don't know how to say that guy's last name. Um and he's not there anymore. You know, he's working someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I was like, well, is this the right person? But then I realized, oh yeah, it was a long time ago when he was when he was at Activision. Well, listen, I hope that if there's evidence that they're liable, that they throw the book at them.
Yeah, there's no excuse for that kind of behavior at all. Period. I mean, and it's just unbelievably tragic that a young woman lost her life because she couldn't deal with the harassment of her job. This is like, and for us as gamers, and as me as a developer, Blizzard's it. That's the ultimate job, is to work for a game company and work for, the biggest game company. And to have that as your environment, it's just it. That's tragic and horrendous, and I feel for her and her family immensely, and I hope they get what's due to them, for sure.
Yep.
And I hope they hold the person responsible accountable. That's just there's no place for that.
Nope. None at all. None
Alrighty.
at all.
So on a different note, this past week, Sony had a state of play, which was so epic, I didn't even hear about it until after it happened. So here's what was announced and what we will look cool, or maybe not so cool, because I hadn't even heard of the games that they did announce at this thing that I didn't even hear about. Um, I saw so the NFL. Oh my God! Here we go. The NFL trade deadline is is free agency opened, and I've been
Right.
like, glued to Twitter to find out what the Dolphins are gonna do because just I can't help myself, and I love being miserable for some reason, and so I saw this scroll by and I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean there was a state of play? When did I
State of
don't
play.
even
Didn't tell nobody.
I don't even know about it. So I actually went. I can't get this time back either. I actually went and watched it. And here are the things that were announced. A new game called Exoprimal. No clue, but I'm telling you, it looks like a cross between Far Cry Primal and um Destiny. Seriously, that's what it looks like. It just looks like they took the same stuff and just reskinned it and look, let's make a new game.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Something called Ghostwire Tokyo. Again, I, just no idea. I've never played it. I Another game called Stranger of Paradise, which is a Final Fantasy Origin game, which is interesting. I'm not sure what that means. We did get more gameplay from Forspoken. Forspoken actually looks like it might be pretty good. Uh, More gameplay from Gundam Evolution. Um, we got to see a new Teenage Mutant. Do we need a new Teenage Mutant? Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Do we really need a new one?
Listen, I won't turn that down.
All right, fine. We won't turn it down. Something
It
called.
but it doesn't look like it's an actual new game. It's just a collection of the old games.
Oh, didn't. Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a
I don't
bundle.
think
Oh, it's a new bundle. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
just a bundle of old games.
So,
Well,
yeah, I'll
fine.
take that.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take that. That's always good.
Another game called Gigabash. No idea. Didn't even watch the game play trailers for it. Um, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is a battle royale. If you like, I don't know why you would play a
That's
new
Will's
battle
jam
royale.
right
Yeah.
there.
Trek to Yomi, which I'm not sure. It looks sort of. So there were lots of samurais and swords in that one, but I actually couldn't tell what kind of game it was from the
Yeah,
trailer.
what I wonder is, was this something that was supposed to be more appealing to the Japanese market?
I
Like maybe this wasn't really a Europe, a Western focused event
I can
because
definitely see that because the last what there was a that they were Returnal's going to have a co-op version, and the last two were called Diofield Chronicle, which definitely has an anime Final Fantasy look to it, and Valkyrie Elysium, which is we have seen before and has that Final Fantasy vibe. So yes, everything that they announced had that anime Final Fantasy Eastern half of the world vibe going on. So maybe that's why we didn't hear about it. Maybe they didn't publish it that hard in the Western Hemisphere because maybe it wasn't for us. Uh, to me, I watched all 27 minutes of it or whatever it was. And the only thing that spoke to me even remotely was Forspoken. And God, we have no idea when that's coming out. So, but I'll tell you this: that Forspoken reminds me a great deal of Dragon Age.
never played that, but
Dragon Age, and I love Dragon Age. Dragon Age is a great game. Uh, really, really, really good RPG. But it still has that Eastern culture vibe to it.
okay.
So, but like I said, that was all the games that they played or that they showed going into it. There were 3 or 4 that I watched the trailer for them. I still have no idea what the hell they are.
Yeah, I mean, listen, one as a non-PlayStation owner, there was nothing on there that was like, "Ooh, you should really go buy a PlayStation 5 for this."
Yeah,
But
that was the thing. There was not, and that well, okay, we're gonna get to that here in a second. Um, yeah, I'm not sure where Sony was going with that, because if you're gonna have a state of play, at least give something, that says, "Hey, let's keep things going." But then again, later in the week, they sort of did that. So you want to take the last one?
sure. In the in last episode's vein of everybody gets a development company, Sony doubled down after buying Bungie and snapped up Haven Studios. Who are they? Well, they just happen to be the new studio of Jade Raymond. You know, the one who was in charge, producer of Assassin's Creed and Metal Gear Solid 4. Also, for a period of time, was in charge of Stadia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what is Sony up to with this buy? You know, I don't know, because in the case of Bungie and Microsoft buying Activision and all that, like, you're talking about studios who have produced IP
Mm-hmm.
that we're familiar with, and this is a studio that hasn't produced any IP.
They have
So
they have not. She has enough
she
capital, though,
listen,
to
yes, she has
say,
enough
yeah,
cachet.
we're gonna back you.
And Jade Raymond was one of the people that I suggested might have been someone that Microsoft reach out to, as far as maybe new leadership at
I thought
Activision.
she'd have been perfect for Activision. Um, but here's where I see this, though. So they acquired Bungie, which has live action gaming, right? They know how to do an MMO.
Yes.
So I think that I think this is a Haven Studios said, we are working on an MMO, but we don't really have the expertise to do that. And when they got approached, they said, you know what? This sounds like a good partnership, because it sounds like Sony's going to let them alone and say, go do your thing. Here's the resource, whatever resources you need. I think the resources that they need are the expertise for doing live server gaming. And so I have a feeling that new project, because we don't have any idea what Haven Studios is working on, because they haven't said anything or put anything out, or we haven't heard any inklings from them. But it sure sounds like they're working on some type of MMO. All we know is that it's a new IP for them.
Yeah.
But any thoughts? Anything you'd like to see? What do you want to see?
Man, I don't know. And I'm not going to get to play it. um but I
Wait a
think
minute. How
open
many
world,
PlayStations have you had in your house? And you
none
still
of them
don't
have been
have,
opened.
you
Not
haven't
one
kept
has
one
been
yet.
opened. Nope. But I think open world games where people get, something that maybe is not linear,
Mm-hmm.
could be great. Maybe there's something that Sony has that's an existing IP that they want to get them to work on. I tell you what, you know what they should do? Give them Killzone and tell them to make a new Killzone,
Oh, can you
because that's
imagine
an
an open
IP that I
world?
feel like Sony has just forgotten about.
Yeah, an open world one. That would be an open world kills
Although
Killzone.
I
That
wonder, in a world where Sony owns Bungie and they have Destiny, I wonder what the appetite for something like Killzone is. But Killzone is almost like I don't know, it felt like a space age World War II game where you were almost fighting Nazis, but you weren't. But like that's kind of what it
Mm-hmm.
felt like in a way.
Yeah.
So like it's a different feel than what you get
It
out
had
of Destiny, but maybe I don't know, maybe too close.
yeah, it had more of a Call of Duty style
Yeah.
feel to it.
Yes. Yeah. It was definitely a game that was more on the rail when it came to the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe they need something that's like
What is
Assassin's Creed like. She did it. She had a lot of work with Assassin's Creed. That could be something. Or, maybe, Kojima is now no longer working Metal Gear Solid because he left Konami.
do they
Maybe
still
do
have
maybe
that?
I don't think he owned the rights to the game. I think
Oh.
the rights to the game were with Konami.
Oh, okay.
So I think
Well,
it's their IP.
hmm.
So maybe if they're gonna do a Metal Gear that is a Sony exclusive,
Oh man, which world do you want the open world in? I mean, which one is better? Metal Gears would be awesome to have an open world game in that
I mean, the
universe.
last one was kind of open world.
The last one was great. Well, yeah, it
Yeah,
was sort of open world, but
you
in a
could select whatever
confined
missions you wanted
in a
to.
confined sort of way. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, though, I think that's probably in a lot of ways. I think those are the best designed games. Like, there's a point where you can give people too much to do,
yeah. Tell me
right?
about it.
Like Borderlands, I think suffers from that sometimes,
I.
especially when you get to like the Game of the Year editions, where
Mm-hmm.
you've gotten like 4 DLCs stacked in. It's
Oh my
like, well,
God,
what do I
yes.
do?
I
What do I do?
Horizons is sort of along that line.
Mm,
Oh my God, there's so much to do, and and person like me, like I find it almost impossible to run by the guy standing there that has the freaking quest icon.
mm.
I just I'm going to do the main mission. I'm going to do the main mission. Well, maybe he
I
just
did that
needs
a
me to
lot in
kill.
Odyssey.
Maybe he just needs me to kill 3 dinosaurs or something. I don't know. and
Yeah.
and next thing you know, 2.5 hours later, you're down the 37th side quest, and you're on top of a tall boy trying to turn the satellites on or something. It's just, man, that game is just addictive and sends you in weird ways all the time. Great stuff, but man, it's long. And I think that's all we have for this evening. Um, Anything that stuck out to you about the stories that you wanted to go back to? Didn't have to be. You just thought maybe you had thoughts.
No. I will say this. I am starting to wonder if Amazon Luna is going to go the way of Stadia.
Yeah, I think so. Google's pulled. Well, they're not doing doing the service anymore, right? They stopped the Stadia service.
Did they?
They have the service, or
I
not.
feel like I still get these emails like, "Hey,
They're not developing games for
oh
it,
yes,
or
that I think is true. I think they've
okay.
decided that
I
they are
can't couldn't remember
not.
where they left it, but so they still have the service. They're just not developing any more games for it. And they
Yeah,
shut.
that's
Oh, they shut down their game development studio. That's right. That's what it was.
yeah, yeah. So Stadia will go someplace where maybe third party games are available, but I'm not. I've got a Stadia. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, I've got a controller hanging around here somewhere too, and I'm not going to use it either.
Now, maybe
Not
I'll find a use for the controller, but
unless they get in cahoots with somebody like Microsoft and says, "All right, if you have an Xbox Ultimate, you can play any of your Xbox games on Stadia. Any of your Game Pass games. You can play them with Stadia, and then
Yeah.
I think they would see. I just don't understand. I don't understand why one of the the companies doesn't say, you know what, let's just partner up with somebody. See if we can.
Well, I think we've said this. We've said this a lot. I think that that's where it's going to go eventually. That what Microsoft is really going to offer is some kind of thin client, you know, a Stadia type device, a Luna type device.
That's so, and we've talked about this too. I don't think it's actually aimed at us, unfortunately,
No.
because it's not aimed at the hardcore guy that owns a computer. You're basically trying to sell rent a computer
Hmm.
to people, and that's what you're trying to sell them on, and that's not us. I
Yeah.
don't.
No, you are marketing at people that may not be able to afford a console, but can afford, you know, $50 for,
For internet
the
stuff,
hardware
yeah.
for Stadia, or,
Mm-hmm.
$50 for the hardware for um, a Luna. But I think the problem is that even since I was a kid, right? Xboxes and PlayStations and Nintendos have been things where that people have been willing to go into debt for. And so I don't know that there is the same market for a cheaper device. Also a device that's cheaper than what, the big guys are already offering. I mean, you can get, you know, a Series S, what, $300?
Yeah, because
Microsoft will sell it to you on time, on payments. Like, it's
well, the selling on payments, and let's face it, what's what's the other one? It's $400, $500, $500, right? $499 for the top one.
something like that.
That's not a lot of money for the machine with that kind of capabilities. It's
Yeah.
just it's not a lot of money for that machine. So
And for an infrastructure that will most likely outlast their competitors. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yes. So I think that's where, I think a year or two down the line, when they say, you know what, you can either keep your system, keep your Series X as a thin client for the new generation, or actually I don't even know if they'll have a new generation.
no,
We're just
honest.
gonna keep going with this one.
I'm going to tell you what Amazon. I don't know that this will work for. I don't know that this works for Google. I don't know if they're really going to keep the push at it. Um, and maybe it doesn't work for. Maybe it doesn't work for Amazon. But a good move, I think, would be for someone to make a deal with not computer manufacturer, TV manufacturers. I go buy a new Samsung television, and that television ships with a controller and enough silicon to run a thin client, and I can play my Xbox Ultimate or my PlayStation Plus from the TV. Give me the controller in the box.
Yep, I agree. You know who's perfect for that? Roku.
Well,
Roku,
that's the idea I had.
Roku TVs are already fantastic. They work great. Was
Yeah.
it TCL?
Mhm.
TCL.
Yep.
Yeah, TCL builds it into the TV.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, put gaming and the ability to hook up any controller.
Yep.
And
get a TV with the right specs. Give somebody, I mean, give somebody a TV that's got 120 hertz refresh, Dolby Atmos.
yeah, I
Give them a
agree.
controller with it and tell them, hey,
Here
you
you
can
go.
play, you can stream your games in 1080. I mean,
Here's
maybe you
your
can stream
gaming
in
thing
4K.
client.
Stream your video game in 4K at 60 frames per second, at 30 frames per second, whatever. It's all you need.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Heard it here first. Did we get dibs on that one?
Heck, right? Somebody from somebody out there in the
Somebody
world listening
Roku
to the
and
podcast are
TCL.
like, hey, these this is a great idea. This is how you build your what's the word I'm looking for? Your
Your reach.
your reach, yeah.
Yep. You're trying
Your market share. This will get you a
market
bigger market share.
penetration.
Market penetration, yep. So we'll see.
Build a gaming system into your TV.
Mm-hmm.
Works
One
for me.
device to rule them all.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our show tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us. Tim, say goodbye to the nice people.
Take it easy, folks.
And from me, see you later, folks.
If you like this show, check out more great content at incastmedianetwork.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.